the VDP, and the JNIM terrorists. So what do I say? On one side, the JNIM is having a very huge confrontation with the Islamic State in the Greater Sahel. And right now, based on stats and facts, the Islamic State in the Greater Sahel is having the upper hand against the JNIM. What do I mean by upper hand? On the line of contact, the Islamic State in the Greater Sahel, they are deleting a lot of JNIM. And on another hand, the Islamic State in the Greater Sahel, they are recruiting even more fighters from the JNIM. What do I mean by that? The fighters of the JNIM are voluntarily trooping en masse to the side of the Islamic State in the Greater Sahel. They say that the JNIM are becoming political. They are being influenced. They are negotiating deal with states like Benin Republic and Ivory Coast. According to what they are saying, before we get to the main fight, there is a known JNIM leader called Abu al-Sad. According to information from security analysts, in a significant development, Saadi, the former JNIM leader who defected recently to the Islamic State Sahel province, have released several audio statements explaining why he defected. According to him, he accuses JNIM leaders of not applying Islamic Sharia in its totality, despite him urging them to in several meetings with other senior JNIM and Al-Qaeda leaders who found excuses in politics and lack of ability, despite them not hesitating to collect zakat from Muslims. He says that the JNIM accusation of Islamic states in the Greater Sahel being Kharijites is unfounded and has no basis in the Quran or Sunnah. He said he did not leave the Islamic State, he did not leave the JNIM to the Islamic State looking for fame or money, because he was already well off in the ranks of the JNIM. And he only defected. Now listen, this is the big pointer here. That he only defected because he saw that the Islamic State actions did not match their words. He accused JNIM of negotiating peace deals. Families, pay maximum attention now. He accused JNIM of negotiating peace deals with Benin and Ivory Coast, which he deemed not befitting to a Muslim to seek reconciliation with apostates. That's what he said. That the JNIM are negotiating peace deal with Benin Republic and Ivory Coast, which he deemed as not befitting to a Muslim to seek reconciliation with apostates. I don't know what that language apostate means, but so that is where we are right now. A lot of influential battlefield calculus changing combatants that carry a lot of experience on the line of contact are leaving the JNIM ranks. They are going to the ranks of the Islamic State in the Greater Sahel. According to information that we've heard, some of them are even leaving because they said the French are not giving them enough funding and enough financial capabilities, that some of them fall sick. There is no treatment. There are no good medical care. Man, this is funny. Like when I was assessing the article today, I was just nodding my head for them. You see, they thought this was going to be easy. They thought this was going to be fast. According to Donald Trump, they thought it was going to be sweet. But I think it's getting bitter gradually. And I know the JNIM will now go on the hunt for the Islamic State in the Greater Sahel. They will be hunting for their members that defected, knowing that those members carries the secrets of the JNIM to the Islamic State in the Greater Sahel. And part of the reason why they will go on a hunting spree right now is because they know that those guys are going to be giving credible intels about their location, about their bases, about their training center, about their logistic routes. They are going to be giving that intel to the Islamic State in the Greater Sahel. Now, this opens up to us, it allows us to assess new realities. How? Some of the jihadists that have been captured recently, okay, that have been captured recently by the troops are equally going to be providing the authorities with credible information, okay? They are going to be providing them with credible information about the location of these troops. Matter of fact, I have been surprised by what is going on in Barabule recently. Now, first of all, I will say this. There was a big fight in Djibo today. Now, between the VDP and the JNIM. What do I mean? There was an asymmetric combat methodology that was applied by the VDP. You know, the VDP, they are not on the same level when it comes to how they apply on the line of contact with the Rapid Intervention Brigade. Okay, let me leave it at that. They are all the FDS, actually. But when you are facing the VDP, it's a different level of steam to what you get when you are facing the Rapid Intervention Brigade. So, the VDPs employed an asymmetric warfare. According to information, they got credible intel that the jihadists were running surveillance along a certain forested outskirts of Djibo. So immediately the VDP had the information, they mobilized, and they concealed their identity around the lower grasses of that particular route. So I want everybody to know at this point that the terrorist does not go through the conventional route of transportation or mobilization. They don't go through that route because they know that some of their members might have booby-trapped the main road. So they go through unconventional routes, those tiny roads that you see along the bush path. Unfortunately for them, the VDP was already waiting for them. And after they entered the location deeply, the VDP opened fire on them. According to the information, 2 of the jihadists escaped the bullet wound at the instance of contact. Several of them were brought down, but these 2 started firing sporadically, and it confused the locals. So the locals started thinking maybe there was an exchange. So because the VDP applied the asymmetric technology, let me call it a technique at this point, the jihadists were left routed. They didn't know where the enemy was, and the VDP, probably for them to have been able to rout the enemy that quick, they've actually taken strategic formations that, you know, allowed them to fire from different angles that the enemy would not be able to calibrate where the fire was coming from. So, according to information, 1 was captured and 1 was already injured in a very dangerous part of his body. So, after they were taking them away, one of them actually, you know, he actually kissed farewell because they said he lost a lot of blood and they captured 1 alive. So, meaning the one that was captured will probably give credible information, it will probably give credible information to the authorities on what they are still trying to do. So currently they don't, the jihadists don't have anything called a stronghold or base or mobilization ground in Djibo. They've actually been conquered in Djibo. Djibo is a conquered territory. and you have Rapid Intervention Brigade currently in Jibo. So, and there is road construction going on in Jibo. So this is, and you don't hear the JNIM talk about Jibo anymore. They don't do that because when Burkina Faso tell you that they've conquered a particular territory, they've conquered that territory. And there are different UAVs in that territory that have been assigned to the military units in that territory to, to monitor the activities of any intruder based on surveillance and whatsoever. So now, that was the first information that we got. So that is a very perfect. Oh, thanks so much for joining, Brother Omar. That was a very, very perfect, that was a very, very perfect application by the Burkinabe Armed Forces. So the second information we have is that there are several airstrike missions that is going on in Barabule currently. So if you pass through Jibo, I think you will meet some community. Then the next place you will get to is Barabule. Barabule is on the northern, I think the northwestern part of Jibo. Yes. And even the last video, the territorial reconquest video that was released by the Burkinabe authorities, you could actually see several airstrikes in Jibo, in Barabule. So today we got information that multiple airstrikes continued in Barabule. And Barabule is a place where the jihadists have been able to stamp their feet for a very long time. All through the years when Damiba was in power, when Rochman Kabore was in power, when, whoever was there during the democratic era, they were there. You know what I'm saying? They were there during that period. And Barabule now is now suffering from the birds of the Burkinabe. So according to information, there were multiple airstrikes in Barabule today, and several jihadists, they kissed the dust today in Barabule. I know a lot of people are saying that this is not a sport, like this KIA is not really, really cool, But this is existential, just to let them know. You have to KIA some bad element for the good people to leave. Because the agenda of the bad people is to make sure that the good people don't exist. So that's why we call it an existential war. So Barabule took multiple impacts today, and several jihadists were neutralized. Now, the standout part of this mission in Barabule today was the local drone operators that were neutralized. I mean, local drone operators. Now, these drones that we are talking about are not the UAVs. I'm talking about the DJI drones. Some of the huge drones that help jihadists to carry maybe the drop missile, or that help them to, perform surveillance and all of that, or, the suicide drones and all of that. So, according to the information we had, the Burkinabes were able to find the drone control unit through the application of their UAVs. Now, when the Burkinabes go on mission, we know that they have the TB2 drones, where they have their Kinchi, and they have other capabilities that they use for both surveillance and offensive mission and reconnaissance operation. But how the Burkinabes have been able to find the units that normally deploy the Starlink satellite recently have been surprising. These drone units, the command control center of this drone unit normally conceal their identity. They don't stay, they don't even stay in the open. Sometimes they are being found when they are trying to put the Starlink receiver, where they are trying to put it on the ground, or, So this only means that Burkina Faso have this heavy level of surveillance right now. I don't know if they have some satellite coverage of what is going on in their territory. That I don't know yet. I do know that the Russian cosmonauts are trying to, work on a communication satellite project. But the way Burkina Faso continue to find this command control center of the drone unit of this jihadists, because Let's call it what it is. These jihadists are equally being given drone capabilities by their sponsors to enable them to succeed on the line of contact. But one thing I have discovered lately is that before the jihadists even do anything reasonable or substantial with their drone capabilities, they are being knocked out. I mean, complete KIA. There were two of them that, carefully concealed themselves under a very huge tree. And there was this year's strike that hit that particular place. And ladies and gentlemen, those two, they were out of the show because the surveillance drone stayed on them for several minutes and nothing came out of that. Nothing ran away from under the tree. That means they've actually been served their 72 virgins, if you know what that means to the Android community. So this is a very, very good project. I love the fact that now what I cannot tell you categorically is how much of a military presence when it comes to having boots on the ground. I can't tell you categorically how much of those forces, how much of the Burkinabe forces are in Barabule currently. But what I can guarantee you currently is that there are multiple airstrikes mission going on in Barabule. The drone command control center are getting, they are getting torn apart. And anybody that's anybody that understands what is going on the line of contact when you are dealing with an asymmetric force will tell you that it is more important to take out the drone units first than the guys that are working with motorcycles that can run into some IEDs that they planted by themselves or whatsoever. So what we are seeing is a big improvement. This only means that Burkina Faso is now moving into the Barabule theater of operation massively now. So what I do think is that Burkina Faso, first of all, they are trying to dislodge whatever command control or base or center the terrorists have in Barabule. Then they will put boots on the ground. And there will be a massive intensification of operation. What I do know is that the next phase of the territorial reconquest mission in Burkina Faso, I think Barabule is not going to escape. I think Barabule is one of the next theaters of operation. And you see, whatever intel is out there is not going to save the jihadists from what is going to happen. That was why during the Damiba planned coup that, failed right in its track, they were trying to target some of these capabilities of the Burkinabes because even their funders are finding it very hard to penetrate Burkina Faso. You will find out these things from, the statement of General Abdurrahmani Chiani. So we love what is going on in Burkina Faso right now because even the people using Starlink are no longer safe on the line of contact. It means a lot. Some are claiming that, maybe there is sharing of intel on the location of this or that. But I think when you look at the partners of the Alliance of Sahel, I'm talking about the security partners, I think we are beginning to notice a trend that the partners of the Alliance of Sahel states, they have been able to find a way to circumvent the Starlink. If you are using a Starlink right now to operate whatever you are operating in the Alliance of Sahel, you are on your own. Because we saw in Iran that there is a way they are able to pick apart people that use Starlink. And again, we are saying it on the line of contact because what makes me look at these things carefully is that there are these people using the Starlink, they are carefully concealing their location and still they are being found. And the territory of Burkina Faso is extremely vast. Hence the question, how are they still able to locate the pinpoint location of these people? Ladies and gentlemen, that is a very, very big breakthrough right there. And we hope it continues for a very long time. So now, we talked about the number of bodies that were knocked out in Titao yesterday. So we've dropped multiple receipts of those bodies on our Telegram channel, and the people on our Telegram channel can actually go and check out those bodies. Condolence to those brothers that actually fell, those innocent civilian brothers that the JNI tried to use for PR. But what we do know right now is that, when you look at the number of jihadists that were knocked out, I mean, there was one of them that was wearing this blue jalabia, this blue, everything was on sky blue, I mean, but the hit it took was even different. I mean, the finer the shed, the finer the heat. So it was a very, very beautiful scene. For me, it might not be for anyone else, but for me, that was a very beautiful scene to see the way Burkina Faso continue to demilitarize the enemy. And when you look at the number of enemies that entered Titao, we're talking about something in the north of 1,000. Then you will know that, it is very, very essential to demilitarize these people, because these are people that they were carefully built up from a very young age. They don't have no education. They were built to be machines for this jihadist cause, this extremist agenda. That was what they built them up for. When you have jihadists raid a particular settlement and they take away women, I want you all to notice this thing carefully. When they take away women, they marry those women. It can be young girls. If you read their story, it's not a crime for them to marry minors or to violate minors. It's not a crime. It's part of their doctrine. They marry those young girls, and those ones will become child-making machine. Okay? So when they make the kids, they start putting that extremist ideology in those kids. These things are not born out of love or whatsoever. So there are sometimes on the line of contact, you see those kids that are being neutralized. And a lot of people say, I read a comment when somebody said, oh, these kids are not more than 14 to 17. I'm going to drop a video on our Telegram channel today where you are going to see a retired terrorist. He called himself repentant, and now he has I call him a retired because he has actually taken out a lot of people. And there is nobody that is going to judge him for it because they feel like, oh, it is nice for you to take out people and repent. For me, it is not nice. Because there is nobody that is going to seek for justice for those people that have been taken out. So what they do is that the demography of the fighters is between the age of 10 and above to their teenage. Probably their most experienced are in their 20s. The ones that are in their 30s are those ones in charge of command and control. Then the older ones are trying to have some level of political influence. If you look at this guy in Mali, they call him Imam Diko, right? You will look at that guy and you see that he's a old one. So those ones try to give them political influence. If you look at countries like Nigeria, you have people like Shehu Gumi. You have those older ones trying to have some political presence. Why the younger ones, the teenage ones, are the ones that fight the battle. So when they capture women, what they do is that they don't see, when they go out to fight, they want to capture as many women as possible. That is one of their aim. And they want to capture as much children as possible. Because it is of their belief that children are not yet hardened. You can still break a child down and mold him back up into a tool. So for them, the women are like positives. They give you so much kids, and these kids are going to help you to continue the fight. Let me tell you a short story. When they captured the Chibok girls, according to one of the soldiers that went on the rescue operation, that, when the Nigerian army actually retained some of the Chibok girls, one of the soldiers said when they deleted some of the Boko Haram, that these same Chibok girls, some of them were crying that you killed their husband. They were once kidnapped, right? But now they are now in love. with the same people, right? With the same people that probably neutralized their parents many months ago. So it takes time to break people down and radicalize them. The first of us they've been brainwashed. So they are crying that the troops killed their husbands. And after that, they said they are not going. They told the troops, I am not going with you. Because, see, this radicalization that we are talking about, it starts gradually. It starts gradually. You continue to hear those words every day. They are hardened. I have spoken to an extremist before. I have walked side by side with an extremist before. Somebody that said, oh, the way this person was neutralized, it's fine, it's okay by the Islamic doctrine. I remind my partner this thing every time, because this is somebody that is known, a female for that matter. So that is part of their mission. So when you see those guys that were neutralized, and to you, these kids should probably be in school. They should probably no. Their own school is different. Is the Islamic school for extremism. It's not the regular this thing. General Abdurrahmani Chiani is a Muslim. Ibrahim Traore is a Muslim. Okay? Asimi Goita is a Muslim. But there are some Muslims again. Okay? There are some Muslims that are being employed to destroy the image of Muslims. I posted a picture on our Telegram channel of an Israeli guy, right, that was captured. Anybody on our Telegram channel can actually confirm this. He was captured. His name, he bears a certain Israeli name. He has a name. He has an Israeli name. But on the line of contact, his name is Abu something. So what those people do is to weaponize a certain agenda against a certain religion that does not align with them. We do understand, okay, that there are some people, okay, there are some people that kind of have extremist or fanatical ideology about their religion, okay? But the fact that you have good Muslims, because to be honest with you, the best fighters that we've seen when it comes to revolution, they are not Christians. Like currently now in Africa, you can take it to the bank. The 3 Sahelian leaders that have refused to be compromised. I do tell my partner something. When you see a good Muslim, and it's a product of a dying breed right now in this current day and time, when you see a real Muslim, they are very hard to find. I repeat again, this current time, you don't find them. Even a real Christian, real Christians are hard to find anymore. The ones that are not fanatical, but you cannot infiltrate their mindset, they are very, very hard to find. And some of those people are, luckily for the people in the Sahel, they are the ones ruling their country right now. People that will not compromise them for any reason. So, so when you see those smaller ones and you say that they are small, no, they are not small. That is the active fighting unit of these terrorists. You don't get them in their 30s, you don't get them in their 40s. The combatants are the teenagers. They are the most violent, they are the most, in fact, and you wonder, I believe a lot of you saw those bodies on the ground. No single one of them wears anything like a bulletproof. The reason why they are not wearing bulletproof is it is part of the ideology. This thing is a reverse engineering of the human mindset. Okay? Because they are being told that you are not supposed to protect yourself. You are supposed to go to that battlefield and take your 72 virgins. So to them, going to create havoc, right? It's like, oh, I'm about to meet Allah. I'm about to enter Jannah. That is it. That is how it rings in their brain. I'm about to meet God. That is what they see that fight as. They don't care about defense. There are even, quotations that back that aspect up. That you come back, you die, you come back, you go, you come back. So they will always have something to defend their cause. But you can see when you see them on the ground and you see that there are no defense capabilities for them, there are only offensive capabilities, is because of the fact that it is part of their mindset to be that radical. That is what we call that radical aspect of it. That is it that you are observing right there. And it doesn't mean next tomorrow some people will not be ready to replace them. Like I said, when they enter a certain place, they capture people and they try to radicalize those people that have been captured. So when you hear that there is a peace negotiation, they are having peace deal in Ivory Coast, they are having peace deal in Benin Republic. The funny aspect is, let me tell you the implication of having peace deal. The people in Nigeria have actually seen this implication that you don't negotiate a peace deal with these people. If you negotiate a peace deal with them, they are going to come back and fight. So what we notice is that when you negotiate peace deal with them, you are giving them more strength. So for Benin Republic and Ivory Coast, this is what happens. When their troops become limited, they will start going into the villages, the local villages first. They will start pushing, they will kidnap, they will come back, they will kidnap, and they will start recruiting. When they need soldiers, they are going to pick on those sons and daughters, or those people that don't know about the decisions your administrations are making right now. They're going to be the one to pay for it. They will go into the neighborhood and they will start preaching Sharia. And that is when they will now turn. You are dealing with beasts. They can turn on anybody at any time. Anybody can be a nobody. You can see the Abu Sad that crossed from JNIM to, he still has that ideology, that radical extremist mindset is still there. No, these people don't negotiate. When all the roads are blocked, they go back to their extremist fundamental, which is they capture your women. They don't care if a woman is old and at a certain age you don't do this. No, this is not how they are built. I've been in the hospital. I have had to attend to babies that are being touched by these same people. So when I'm speaking from a place of direct experience. Days of my internship, I saw this thing happen. Days of my clinical postings, I saw this thing happen. Days of my service as a locum, I saw these things happen by the same set of people. So I'm speaking from a place of experience. And they will find a way to back it up based on their belief, whatsoever it is. But the only hope right now is that the people that are leading the revolution, they are Muslims. That is the last Umar that we can emulate right now. Because the agenda of the founders is to bastardize the Islamic religion. So therefore, if your religion does not help you build your society, if it does not help you improve the life of your people, you have to have a rethink. Religion should not be about hating people. It should be about building. Use your religion to motivate yourself to build your society. All right, let's go to the next information, right? General Abdurrahmani Chiani said they are now moving from the normal mindset. They are going to be activating the war mindset. I mean, the war mindset of the people of Niger. Okay? They are now going to be moving from the normal mindset, and that's what they call the mobilization yesterday. I've actually explained it in the video. The people have to change their instincts that we are approaching a time of war. Because recently there is this video going on out there that General Abdurrahmani Chiani said that there were some certain amount of uranium that was mined by Orano, that was processed by Orano when Orano was still in Niger. And if the French need that particular amount of uranium, that they are going to transport it to them for free. That if that uranium is what France needs, we are going to transport that uranium to you. Okay? So the thing is, that's Niger telling France that, look, that uranium is nothing. That uranium you want to crash out on, like, it's nothing to us will give you. We are the uranium. We are uranium. If you are looking for uranium, the Nigerians are the real uranium. So don't worry, we will transport it. Don't pay for it. We will get it to your doorstep. Don't cry no more. We know you've now become Nigerians overnight. Up Nepal. Oh, Nepal don't go. That's what the French citizens are facing currently. Right? They've now come back to the normal level of the Jungle Republic, where electricity disappear, electricity come back again. Welcome, welcome to the new reality. But if you need that uranium, we will give it to you. Now, what does that mean? That Niger sends that uranium to them does not address the root cause of the collapse of the French economy. It only means that whatever, if they give them that uranium, it's like law of diminishing return. It will keep their political balance for a while. Maybe it will help their economy in a certain way. Then it will come down again. Russia said something at some point when this whole thing started. Russia said, we are looking at a situation where a certain superpower might become a third world country, and a certain colony of a certain superpower might become a first world country. Ladies and gentlemen, please, a certain trend is going on right now, where people are saying, what is the impact of this whole reform that is going on in the Sahel? What is the direct impact on the citizen, most especially in Niger? First of all, I will say this: Niger was the second to the last in Africa before. I mean, when you talk about economy, Niger was like the dungeon. But gradually, they are getting back up. Okay? They are getting back up. Niger is getting there. Niger at a point. Now, imagine if these people were not, if terrorism was not weaponized against them. Do you know the level of growth? The level of growth these people would have recorded would have caused a shock wave around Africa. This is wartime, and they are developing like this. If there was no imposed aggression, they would have improved to the point whereby a lot of puppet presidents would have been so beaten to stupor by their citizens in Africa. You will see citizens going pound for pound with their authorities. If this terrorism was not there, the level of improvement you would have seen, you will see buildings grow as if it's magic. When you compare the resource capability of those people, right, to the administrative capability, the people in charge, there is no denying the fact that these people at this point, there is no stopping them. Now, when they talk about the wartime mobilization, the change of mindset, it means that the citizens must now, one thing I love about the Sahel is that everybody is an authority in their country. Man, look, Africa has look, Africa does not go past what they are saying, what is going on in the Sahel. Africa does not go past that. That is what Africa is supposed to be. The citizens are now the authorities. They are saying that if you notice anything that is behaving like that is not praising God the right way, you send the information, you give the intel very quick. You will not let anybody come and destroy your country. No espionage agent will be permitted. If you notice anything that is not behaving godly, let's bless him. Let's bless him up. Like anything. So that is the mobilization. It doesn't mean people will have to pick weapons and fight. No. The guys that are ready to be the bridge between life and death, they are there. And the attrition rate has been calculated. When you listen to General Abdurrahmani Tiani, no. Look, he's a general for a reason. When you listen to Assimi Goita, you will know that these guys are general for a reason. See, let's stop deceiving ourselves. When you hear this thing that, democracy is for civilian, don't allow military, is a lie of the devil. If there is a thing called the devil, it's a lie of the devil. Don't let anybody deceive you again. These guys understand what it is to challenge whatever imposed authority. General Abdurrahmani Tiani was giving intel. He was talking about the intelligence they received. He was talking about the planning. He was talking about the calculus of even what they are not thinking about. See, if you look at the mindset, and he was telling the truth, that look, this is the reality. This is the reality. He said, if you want to check the current capability of the Nigerians, he said, look at the minute it took to dismantle the entire French. The French planned it from April 2025. They planned this attack on the Diori Amani airport. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. 10 months. Families, 10 months planning. It took 20 minutes to beat down 10 months planning. According to General Abdurrahmani Tiani, they had other plans they were making to attack. After that attack, everything was stopped. We've gotten to a point. It's intel versus intel. It's intelligence against counterintelligence. It's capability against counter capability. It is reconnaissance against reconnaissance. Don't worry, they can have reconnaissance. The US might bring themselves to the Sokoto, Abi. They can bring themselves to Bauchi, Taraba, wherever they want to be. It's going to be your capability against my capability. So, like, we hear a lot of noise on the outside. Fine, it's okay. But we've gotten to a point right now on the planet where it's going to be you against me. That you beat me. It will not be down to the fact that I didn't do my best. So, if the Nigerians can rout the French military operation in 20 minutes, together with their Russian counterparts, that is to tell you. And let me tell you something. The drone, there were multiple drones that was sent to the Diori Amani International Air Force. General Abdurrahmani Tiani is a different. These guys, you see these leaders in the Sahel, they are better than, look, let me not deceive you. I'm sorry about your presidents, wherever you are from. They are better than every other president that are left in Africa. They are better. Let's be honest with ourselves. They are better than the president of Senegal, better than the president of Ivory Coast, better. Even the Ghanaian president is not coming close. What? If you look at the level of intelligence of these guys, they are, when you look at the way the terrorists perform inside that airport, you ask yourself, okay, where are the troops? He said there are people that have been designated to negotiate that calculus with those guys. He talked about where they were positioned. Nobody is just even in exchange, in combat, nobody just does anything anyhow. There is calculation. He said, go and ask from the civilians. Over 100 kilometers after getting out of the Diori Amani International Air Base, what they started seeing days after. It took 20 minutes to destabilize them, to finish them off. Now, the Nigerians pursued them, dropping bodies back and front. You know, I told you all that there were bodies that were found on the outskirts. There were bodies that were found on the road, suffered hemorrhage and died there. Nobody to pick them up. There were some that were behaving like mad people that, you know, they captured them. Like, that was a 10-month plan. 10. That is to tell you that Africans are naturally, they are like that. And General Abdurrahmani Chiani said he knows what he's saying. He said he has been in this job for over 40 years. Calculate the experience of 40 years. Ladies and gentlemen, the Nigerians are in safe hands. Let me be honest with you, yeah? If General Abdurrahmani Chiani traveled to Algeria, let me tell you something. A lot of people said I've been talking too good about Algeria and all of that. This is how I operate. That is why leadership, when you have good leaders, everybody just go to work. If the leaders of the Sahel say, it's Delta Hotel, cease fire with the Algerians, it's ceasefire. I will let the leaders take the decision. If they say, now it's time for exchange, we go. I am not going to contest their decision. These guys are too good. They are good to the point that I cannot argue whatever decision they've taken. Now, they are humans. They are humans. And humans can make mistakes. But these guys have shown so much statistics on the board to the point that whatever decision they are taking, I'm with it. I am with it. And don't think that decision have not been calculated from imperceptible. Look, whatever anybody might be thinking, that, okay, Algeria is capable of doing this, Algeria is capable of doing that. Look, I'm telling you, man, this deal is covered. Everywhere is Delta Hotel. Algeria, for now, is a partner. Now, and don't think that there are no plans to pay reparation for the Malian drones. Let me tell you this. Now, what do I suspect? I think Algeria might be looking at the Malian drone situation like, you don't need to take us to an international criminal court of justice or whatsoever. We are brothers. We can settle this among ourselves without having to take ourselves to whatever. So I think within me, I might be wrong, okay, that there might be plans to pay reparation without having to make it noisy or global. So if you see that Burkina Faso is collaborating, Algeria is collaborating, it means that there have been some sort of geopolitical alignment. I know that they own Mali the drone, but what I'm saying is there must have been negotiation that we might not know of. See, let me tell you something. You see the leaders of the Sahel, right? Apart from the fact that they are leaders, they are men. Ibrahim Traore is a man. See, a man is not based on the age or the gray beards or whatsoever. The size of a man is in the size of the art and experience, goodness. You see these guys, they are too like, I leave leadership to them. Everybody was not born for leadership. Everybody has different levels of influence. But you see the leaders in the Sahel, these guys are at the god level of goats. Like, history will remember the names of these guys forever. Their name is already on the sound of time as we speak. There would have been a certain agreement that we don't need to know about. I have looked at that situation that it is impossible. Okay, why did Niger send away the diplomat of Algeria? Niger sent away the diplomat of Algeria and the ambassador of Algeria in Niger because of the drone issue. Algeria, Burkina Faso had issue with Algeria because of the Malian drone issue. So if they are collaborating right now, there is some sort of agreement and there have been a sort of go ahead from Mali. You know, look, we don't have to understand. We don't. I have asked myself a lot of questions and I've been able to tell myself something, that these are leaders that have earned the right to be called leaders. If you see them collaborating with somebody, just know that there have been a sort of agreement. And if you see the way the president of Algeria sent the message to the president of Niger, it was like an apology. A lot of people did not read that message clearly. There might have been some sort of agreement. And before they can collaborate, they must have informed the Malians. And there must have been high-level talks within the AES. The AES is not a jungle. The AES is not some countries in West Africa that just, you know, everybody is just moving in, you know, it's not a facade really. These people, in fact, when you look at the AES, let me tell you something. It's not even their, see, you see the whole of their leadership. To me, the Burkinabe leadership, they are on a whole different level. The Nigerian leadership is on a whole different level. And when you talk about, let me say this word, when you talk about the loyalty within that leadership, is on a different level. Now, the leadership that I fear the most is the leadership of Mali. From Goita to Diop to Maiga, those guys, any of them can rule any country. Any of those three can rule any country. See, this is not fair. This level of leadership should not all belong to a single country. Like I said, any of those leaders can rule any country. From Goita to Maiga to Diop. Hey, Jesus. So you have them in the Sahel. They are too much. Like I said, it's not a fluke that you are having revolution going on in that place. Because most of the products coming out of this place, they are on that level. And when it comes to information, they are on that level. I have studied, I'm a Nigerian, and when we study people in this country, we study people from different perspectives. Even more so, we study them pessimistic, like okay, what's it doing? But I've been able to see that, man, these guys, they have no, look, they are humans, but I don't doubt them. So I convinced myself that whatever decision they make is in our interests. And it's for the best of Africans. I'm talking about Africans. You can see that even when General Abdurrahmani Chiani was talking, he was still recalibrating the statements that, look, we love the Beninese, we love the Ivorians, but their authorities. Have you all heard that the nephew of Alassane Ouattara was in the Epstein file? Alassane Ouattara of Ivory Coast. A family member was in the Epstein file giving Ivorian women to Epstein. Hi God. You see, you can never ever see the fruit cannot fall far. It can never ever fall far from the tree. The fruit, once it drops, look under the tree. It cannot fall too far from the tree. It's out there in the public domain. But they want people, because Alassane Ouattara is an ally of you know who. So now we have a situation that is going to make me ask a critical question now. The M23 and the Twirwaneho raided Congolese and Burundian army in South Kivu. This information just came out today. The M23, now it's no longer the M23 alone. These ones now, they are calling them the Twewaneho, raided Congolese and Burundian army in South Kivu, and they collected weapons. Ladies and gentlemen, where is the American peace deal? Where is the American deployment? I'm so sorry. Let's just call a spade a spade. Civilian regime is the best regime. Civilian regime is the best regime. Don't deceive yourself. It's high time we stop deceiving ourselves in this Africa. Civilian regime is not the best regime. Call the Guinean leader, Mamadi Doumbouya, call him a puppet. You can't compare his regime to a civilian regime. Civilians take orders. You don't order the military. You don't tell. See, the grace that the Sahelian alliance have right now is that they have military leaders. Imagine if it was a civilian that the French were threatening like this. He would have given up the fight. Do you know that the military, they are ready to lay down their life for that country? They are calibrated differently. If it was a civilian, I'm telling you, that's why you see that some of your paid politicians and people that benefit from politics will always tell you, oh, you don't know anything about military. No military regime. Look at Mudavadi, one of the most corrupt politicians in Kenya, telling the Kenyan citizens that Ibrahim Traore, you want to talk to Ibrahim Traore, a man with a gun on his side. That gun did not threaten the civilians in Burkina Faso. That gun did not threaten the civilians of Ghana when he came to Ghana. That gun did not threaten anybody in Russia when he went to Russia. But that gun is threatening the politicians in Kenya. The proof is in the pudding. Nobody can... See, we've got to a time in Africa where nobody can deceive anybody again. Nobody will deceive anybody again. So now, where are the Americans in Congo? Emmanuel Macron told the Congolese people, the DRC people, he said the peace and stability of the people of DRC is their own interest. Where are those people now? Congolese will defend Congolese at the end of the day. Congolese will defend Congo at the end of the day. It will not be no American to come and defend you. It will never ever be no America to come and defend you. It will not be nobody. It will be Congolese defending the Congolese. But history have told us that in Congo, revolutionary leaders don't last long. So it begs the question. I won't lie. I will just be honest with you. When you look at how Lumumba was treated, I will still say, do they really deserve revolution like that? That would be a question for the Congolese to answer by themselves. It's not in my purview to speak for the Congolese people. So, because when you look at some countries that are experiencing some things in Africa right now, the people is a very huge contributing factor to whatever is going on in that country. Let's go to Nigeria. Now, there is a pattern that is growing in Nigeria currently as we speak. Social media influencers are now employed to campaign for Tinubu in Nigeria. Social media influencers have now been paid to campaign for Tinubu in Nigeria. Oh my goodness. Nigeria, my country. Oh. You see, I don't know what to say about Nigerians, but it's funny. You will wait for a social media influencer to come and talk to you before you know what to do. Are you not experiencing the economy situation in Nigeria? You are not part of the hardship. The fuel subsidy that was removed, you are not experiencing it. You are enjoying the current American invasion. This is an invasion. Another 100 troops have entered your country, making 300. It's a drone refueling center, right? It's a drone refueling center. So what I've noticed now is that they are now playing the second card. Everybody calls Tinubu a master strategist. He's not a strategist. Tinubu is not a strategist. You call him a strategist because you, as a Nigerian, you are corrupt. You call him a strategist because you are corrupt. Tell me the strategy he has. Now, we are seeing a lot of Nigerians now coming out online and saying Tinubu should go and spend, that Peter Obi should spend money. Let me tell you something. When Niger wanted to bring in General Abdurrahmani Chiani, because the people brought him in, what is going on in Niger is not politics, it's not democracy, it's the People's Popular Revolution. The people started scaling fence into some of the most defended locations in Niger. They scaled the fence, they entered, they chased people. The Nigerians themselves sent out the French ambassador. Okay? So Nigerians are not ready to move forward. It's a truth. It's a known fact. You can see that when I invited Make Chuku is his name. It's an Igbo. Don't come with tribalism card here. He said that Nigerians are not ready. I cannot imagine for the life of me that you need somebody to come and tell you in 2026 who you should vote for. To be honest, I was hearing Nigerians saying that Peter Obi needs to spend money. You need Peter Obi to spend money. Who are you people? I have been saying it that Nigerians are corrupt. A lot of people will not want to agree with me. They say I hate Nigerians. I hate your behaviors. I don't hate Nigerians. Do you get that? Hate is stronger than dislike, right? Behaviors. You are telling Peter Obi to go and spend money. Is Peter Obi going to be affected by the economic policies that are going to be made in 2027? They are now paying. They are paying influencers. Who are those influencers in Nigeria? What is their reputation? What's their credibility? Who is Cubana chief priest? What impact has he made in this Nigeria? Selling alcohol to people? I know. Who is Cubana chief priest? I am busy. And those people are the ones that are influencing Nigerians, telling them what to do in 2026. You said you need a good leader, and you are saying that good leader should spend money to bribe you, to pay you to vote. That's what you want, to pay you to vote. That's why you will never have a good leader. You said it's not. If you people are ready to, if Nigerians are ready to go forward, it should be Nigerians versus APC or whoever. That is what I'm expecting for 2026. Not for you people to open your mouth. Peter Obi does not need to campaign. That is a country that is ready to move forward. Peter Obi does not need to campaign. You should go out there effortlessly and know that this battle is between you and this miserable imperial government. This white government in a black uniform. That is what you have in Nigeria currently. A white government in a black uniform. Tinubu is the worst of its kind that you can find anywhere on the planet. Nobody deserves to have Tinubu as a leader. You are saying that Peter Obi should spend money. Can you imagine, you people? Who do they want to spend that money for? People have been saying it that Nigerians are the black people, that you people are the white people of Africa. I don't have a reason to doubt it. You say Peter Obi should go and pay, should go and spend money. They said he bought granules, and he bought granules from a local granite vendor, and he was bargaining the price. Is he not supposed to negotiate? They said he should use all his money to buy. You people are looking for thieves. Like I said, to liberate Nigeria, it's going to be a war. Liberating that country. Liberating Nigeria is not hard. It's about opening the head of the citizens and packing truth into it. Open the head of them, open the head of those citizens, pack everything that is inside, put it out. Criminals. You want Peter Obi, you want a leader that want to rule your country and take the right decision. Tinubu's election will be heavily funded by the West because they have a lot of interest in Nigeria currently. So you're not even going against the money of Tinubu alone. See, it is the forces of darkness against the forces of liberation now. I don't know if a lot of you know it. You know the funny thing, I'm not going to be a Nigerian in 2027. I have to tell you that truth. I'm not going to be. But for the love of God, I am telling you the truth. If a good government come in, what do you think will happen to the American base? That's a military base, that's not a drone refueling center. All the foreign investments, they've privatized almost every institution of reasonable benefit in Nigeria. They are stealing trillions, not even billions, not even millions. People are stealing trillions. This is not a country right now. Anybody that defends Tinubu for a second, in fact, that person should be arrested. In Ondo State, is it Ondo State? I saw how they beat up the APC chairman today. That's how to start a show. The citizen beat him up heavily. That is how to start a show. APC government. We know that you cannot do a revolution right now. But if you need somebody to come and pay to come into government, then it means whatever ruler is that means you are looking for a thief. You are looking for a thief to come and rule you again. Peter Obi should come and I'm a Yoruba person. I'm telling you the truth. Tinubu is the worst of the worst. Nobody is checking him. Imagine if Buhari can be better than a certain person. If Buhari can be better than somebody, you should know that person is from hell. That person is not from this world. You need Peter Obi to come and spend money. It should be money against money. Let the leaders deal with the leaders. The ADC is strong enough. Even though I don't like their party structure, but there is a coalition that should get Tinubu out of, get him out of everywhere, get him out of the country if you can. Hey, Tinubu, God forbid. And some of you are saying that Peter Obi should go and spend money to counter Tinubu. It should be you, the citizens. It should be you going against anything. Tell them to keep their money. This is not about money at this time. This is about you being conquered. I'm telling you, if you are not careful, you will see that Prosper Africa is coming to stay. They went from 200 troops, they went to 300. More Nigerians are getting neutralized every day. Do you even know what has happened in this regime? This is the most criminal regime ever. Do you know the amount of money that have been stolen in this country? The problem of Nigeria, God. So it's down to the Nigerians to decide for themselves. You can see that I'm even shouting too much now. I'm talking about Nigeria. That is it. Nigerians, they know the hear word. And you people are supposed to hear the word of God, Nigerians. Hear the word of God. I'm tired of these people. You need somebody to come and give you money. To vote. Are you not living? Are you not surviving? A lot of people are begging me already. These APC politicians, they're already begging me to go and register, to go and do this. I will not use my influence for any armed robbery regime. Let's call a spade a spade. It's a failed government. It's a failed everything. And watch your influencers. Watch the people that they call them influencers for a reason. Because they influence your decision making. If you cannot decide for yourself, where is the education you said you went to school to get? If you cannot decide, make critical decision for yourself, your family, your children, and your society at large. I've never seen a country like Nigeria before in my life. I have never. In this Africa, no. And if you think buildings are infrastructure, go and think again. The policies that are being made in Nigeria today is a big doom for the next generation of tomorrow. For the generation of tomorrow, if you don't know. So families, let me go and get more information. I think I don't know if I messed it up with the Nigerian issue. So at night, I'm going to come back by 12. So we're going to talk more about what is going on in the Sahel. And don't forget, there is this anti-Igbo rhetoric that is already going on right now. They have started playing the divide, the tribalistic card right now. There was one that Asari Dokubo said yesterday that the Igbo people, they fought the Muslim. Asari Dokubo is playing two cards at a time: tribalism and religion. Okay, don't get twisted. There is not there, and if you they say no one, they say one Nigeria, Abi, they say one Nigeria. If it's one Nigeria, don't let anybody during election period come and divide you with tribalism and religious divide. Forget religion, forget tribe. See, if somebody from TV, let's say if the leader of Nigeria is going to be from an unknown tribe, go and vote for that person without taking a dime. And so far, so good. The only person among all this that we are looking at is Peter Obi. At least it's still the best among these worst that we are looking at. They are already playing tribal card. These are the people that are benefiting. These are the people that are benefiting. These are Asari Dokubo and these people. They are the ones that are benefiting. Don't let anybody lie to you. I love Nigerians. Every Nigerian. Nobody should come and tell me that because this. What do you mean? Asari Dokubo came out. He said the Igbo people go to your this thing. He said they fought the Muslim and all of this thing. Don't worry, they've started. That's Tinubu working. They will play the tribalism card, then they will play the religious card. They know that those things work like clockwork when you talk about Nigerian geopolitics. No, because of this election, we are one Nigeria. You people have been talking about one Nigeria. Nobody will divide anybody here. I'm telling the Igbo people right now, it's just so painful that I'm not active on X and on TikTok. You people will hear from me in this election. By next year, I won't be in Nigeria. But man, this election, we are one Nigeria and we vote for the best candidate. There is no Igbo, there is no Yoruba, there's no Hausa. We are one Nigeria. This election, we will vote for the best candidate. And that candidate is not Tinubu. It will never be Tinubu. Not when we are here. I'm a Yoruba. So I'm telling you now, Tinubu is not a good candidate. So this election, we will prepare ourselves correspondingly. No, there is no Christian, there is no Muslim. We all are Nigerians. Nigeria is the first religion, and we must rescue this country from imperialism, because the imperialists are controlling this country, and terrorism is a build-up, is a project of the imperialists. Don't worry. And now that they are bringing counter-terrorism troops to Nigeria, it is because there is going to be a shift in the number of terrorism violence you are going to have now. See, come. There is no reason why I will give you paracetamol if you are not having body pain. So if I am walking to you and suddenly I'm giving you paracetamol, it's because I'm about to beat you up. So don't let anybody deceive you. Have you forgotten that the CIA said Tinubu is an active asset? Have you forgotten? So this 2027, like I said, I am an Igbo, I am a Yoruba, and I am an Hausa, I'm a Fulani, I'm everything at the same time. All of us are from the same tribe. Tinubu will not enter in this election. In this Nigeria, I know that by next year, good or bad, I will leave Nigeria. I will leave Nigeria to the Nigerians. But this one, when we still in this country, it no go possible. We are Muslim and Christian at the same time. I have Quran here, I have Bible here, I have Tesbah here, I have everything. So nobody will deceive anybody. Tinubu cannot enter in this election, please. So if you see anybody, put your name, right? If you see anybody play tribalism card in this election. Tell them we are one Nigeria and Tinubu must not prevail. It's Nigeria versus Tinubu now. It's not Tinubu versus ADC. It's Nigeria against Tinubu. That's what it should be. Thank you and God bless you. I love Nigeria and I love Africa.